Just felt like everything that I love about my life was like being put on the altar. I was going through a breakup, a move. I was leaving my roommate in New York City. My son got sick. My mom came up to help and she got sick. And I was like, I'm out. Like I'm
I'm
tapped.
at my
Like I'm at my max. And I rarely get there, but I was at my max.
Peter tonight. I'm going with her.
Oh,
And then
cool.
when I
What's
come back,
happening
I'll
tonight?
see you.
Yeah, almost. I just have to do this one last intro. You want to come do it with me? Here, come sit.
Welcome to Edge of My Seat podcast. Is there anything else besides that I can say? Today's guest is Emily Fletcher.
My name is Miki Agrawal. I'm the founder of TUSHY, and today's episode, I'm so excited to bring you Emily Fletcher. She is the founder of ZIVA Meditation. She has taught thousands and thousands of people how to meditate, and she launched recently ZIVA Magic, which is literally bringing manifestation through sexuality. It's really, really amazing. I'm thrilled to be talking with her about the darkest, shittiest moment of her life and all the things that she did internally and externally to clean it up. Welcome to Edge of Our Seat podcast. All right. Welcome to another episode of Edge of My Seat. And I'm so excited about today's podcast. It's with my dear friend, Emily Fletcher. She is the magic maker of ZIVA Meditation. She has brought one of the few people who've literally made meditating cool. Okay. We're going to jump right in.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to tune in to the hardest, shittiest moment. And I'm sure we've all been there. We've all had some really hard moments. And I want you to pick just the hardest, just the one that comes to you, the shittiest moment of your life. And I just want to tune into that moment. First, where were you?
The one that comes up is pretty recent, and
Okay.
I had just moved. I just left Brooklyn. I lived in New York for 20 years, and I just moved to Katona, New York, like Westchester,
Yeah.
the suburbs. It was in my new house.
And what was happening in your life?
I was going through like a very full spectrum death portal. Like so many things in my life were shedding and dying. I was going through a breakup, a move. I was leaving my roommate in New York City. My number one stream of revenue at ZIVA went to zero.
Whoa.
We
How?
turned everything off.
Turn everything off.
No, it went to
Marketing.
zero, and then we turned like all the ads off. My son got sick. My mom came up to help, and she got sick. And I was like, I'm out. Like I'm tapped. I'm at my max. And I rarely get there, but I was at my max.
And what were you feeling? Like what was coming up to you for you inside of yourself?
I was pissed because I felt like the circumstances of my move, I felt like I wasn't, at that point, I was in a state of consciousness where I felt like I wasn't choosing it. I felt like I was being forced.
Why?
It felt like I didn't want to live there. I didn't want to live in this location. Like there's so many places, amazing places in the world that I want to live. And I feel like I didn't want to move to this place. And so I was in a bit of victim story there. I didn't want this thing that I love, this product that I love at ZIVA. I didn't want that to go to zero. Oh, and one of my favorite employees, one of my like star employees also quit in the middle of this.
Oof,
and so I was just
hard.
like all of it, like my revenue, my identity. Oh, and I also like my body started changing. Like I like hit perimenopause all at the same time. And I was like that too. And so it just felt like everything that I love about my life was like being put on the altar. And I felt sad. I felt scared. I felt angry. I felt overwhelmed. I felt alone. Because I also, you like get a team, like we live big lives. And so I had like a team of people helping me live my life, raise my son, run my company.
Yeah.
And then when I moved, like all that went away. And I was going through a breakup. So my boyfriend, who was like a huge support system and all this, like that went away.
Why
So
did you break up?
I actually broke up from a place of love. I was at a wedding in Italy, like on like heart openers, and just this like very clear voice came in that was like the highest act of love you could do is to leave. And it felt like I was betraying myself by staying in something that I was like 99.9% in, but I wasn't 100% in. And so I felt like if I was betraying myself, then he was also betraying himself. So I just communicated it really simply and with a lot of love. And like, I think that's the hardest kind of breakup.
When you leave something so good.
Yeah, like that quote is like the hardest no is the almost yes.
Yes.
And so it was hard no.
Uh,
Yeah. So it was heartbreaking. And then you were actually there. You were a part of this story. So like on the day of the move, which by the way, like I was literally driving to my new house, movers with the truck behind me. And that was the day that like the revenue thing went to zero, like on the day that I moved. It was very symbolic. It was like a real chapter change.
wow.
And then the movers were supposed to come and pre-pack me. And I was going to try on like my damsel in distress, soft power, like just with like oh, I couldn't possibly tell you where a screwdriver is. I'll just be lounging on the couch in my robe. Like I was really going to try that archetype on, which is not my MO. And then the movers just didn't show. Like they didn't come to pack. And so then I had a 5,000 square foot apartment that I was trying to pack up and move into a 2,000 square foot home, just like by myself. And so
What'd you do?
well, like the movers showed up at like 9 a.m. the next day. So I have to do this huge move. We get everything packed up. We don't even get on the road till 6. We finally get the last box into my new house at 1 a.m. They were then supposed to unpack, but they had to drive back to the city and had another move the next day. So I couldn't do that to them. I was like, it's 1 a.m, go home. So then I wake up the next morning, surrounded, I'm drowning in 200 boxes and I'm just crying. I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? I've ruined my life. I'm gonna die alone in the suburbs with cats eating my face. And I sent like an SOS to our women's group because we were about to go have a ladies weekend that weekend. And I was like, I need help. I need help. And so you guys were like, we're coming. And so like you and 6 of our friends show up on my front doorstep to help me unpack boxes. And then the last woman that walks in is Sadhvi Ji, our mutual friend, who's like the head nun at this ashram where I started my meditation training back in 2007.
And you were supposed to meet up, and somehow magically she was in the car with us, and she was like, wait a minute, Emily Fletcher?
Yes.
Like we were supposed to actually connect.
Yeah.
And there she was.
I was gonna like come into the city, but I was like, girl, I can't go into the city. Like I'm drowning. And then she shows up in my house.
And she's like the spiritual teacher in India.
Yeah.
That really that runs one of the biggest ashrams in Rishikesh.
She like leads ceremonies like for thousands of people, these sunset
Every
arti
week.
ceremonies.
Yeah.
And to have her show up on day 1 of this death portal, like she's
was
such
a sign.
Yeah, it was such a sign that like, girl, we've got you.
Yeah.
Like nature has you. And so it really, and the other fun magic that happened is that when I arrived at 1 a.m, my favorite drink in the world is raspberry lime spindrift.
Okay.
And in the empty refrigerator, in the empty house at 1 a.m, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, I'm sad. And I open the refrigerator and there's one single raspberry lime spindrift in the refrigerator.
Like that happened to be there.
It just happened to be there. And I was like, okay, I got you. Like there's just like a fun high five from nature. Like you're so held, Emily. You're so held.
Chills. And now how is it?
It's amazing. I've like deeply fallen in love with it. Like I went into the city twice and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
How did I ever live here? Like my nervous system is totally recalibrated. I live on a lake. I go paddleboarding almost every day. I have a cacao altar in my backyard. I go hiking. There's like a beach on the lake right across from my home. And I've really fallen in love with it. And I think 2 big shifts happen. One, once I realized that like life put me here.
Yeah.
No other human being put me here, like life put me here. Then I was able to surrender to the magic. And the other piece is that I think because of so much death, I got into a bit of survival instinct.
Yeah.
I got into like a bit of vigilance. And so I got there, I was like, okay, I want to buy a house, but I want to be in partnership. And so I have to manifest a man, I have to manifest a house, and I have to manifest more revenue. And I got like sort of panicky about my manifestations. And when I just like leaned back and looked around, I was like, oh, my life is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I love this house. I love being single. I love being on the lake. Like there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to
That's
fix.
right.
There's nothing to manifest. Like just savor it, Emily. And the second I started savoring my life, then obviously all this new magic started showing up. And we just did a 7-figure launch for ZIVA Magic.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, we launched the 7 figures. Yeah.
Way.
Yeah.
So tons of people signed up.
Yeah, over 700 people are in the course out of the first one out of the gate in a new industry. It's like teaching people to visualize, alchemize, and magnetize. And it is a work of art. I am so proud of this course.
I am so thrilled for you. When did you launch it?
October 16th.
Were you shocked by the number of people who signed up?
Well, here's another fun lesson is that I wanted 1,000 people in. Like that was our goal, was 1,000 people. and we ended up having like 630. So even though it was a 7-figure launch, even though it was like by all measures a huge success, I was head tripping about it because I had set a goal of 1,000 and we only got to 630.
I
And so it
mean,
was like such a good lesson of like, Emily, like, can you savor what is? Can you celebrate what
it's
is?
insane for the first launch of a
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah.
That says a lot. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
That's
you.
such a big deal.
Thank you.
So many people go through these death portals, these moments of like, it feels like everything's crashing down. It feels like, oh my God, I'm like, why is this happening to me? You know, versus like, why is it happening for me? What were some of the things, like the first steps you took? You're like, oh my God, went to zero. I'm moving. I'm being forced somewhere. There's a victim mentality happening. Like I'm, out of my
Breakup.
relationship.
My
Like
son
there's
was sick.
breakup, son was sick, mom, all the things. And you're just like, what were the first things you did internally and then externally to start the process of getting yourself out?
Yeah, the thing I feel so proud of is the way that I felt my feelings.
Mm.
And it's also why I'm so proud of Ziva Magic, and it's different from Ziva Meditation because what I've realized is that meditation, even though with Ziva, it's very restful, it's very relaxing, it is still quite masculine because
Right.
it's like we're transcending, we're going up, we're like choosing how we want our consciousness to be. And I love it. I love meditation. It's like it is the foundation of everything that I do.
Right.
But Ziva Magic is more feminine because it's internal. You're like going in and actually feeling the feelings. You're moving the feelings.
Well, how do you do that? If people don't know what that means?
So I would say, so the Ziva Magic formula is visualize, alchemize, magnetize. And so it's a basically embodied manifesting because most people are manifesting just with their minds. And now I'm teaching people how to manifest with their whole bodies, head, heart, and hoo-ha. So first it's like, well, what do you want, right? Like anything. Do you want a partner? Do you want a 7-figure company? Do you want a 9-figure company? Do you want to start a movement?
Right.
Do you want a kid? Like, what is it that you're manifesting? And then visualize that, get clear on that. And then the way that I teach alchemize is like, what is it that's keeping that dream from being a reality? Right? If you want a kid,
Right.
like what is it that's keeping that? If you want a successful business, what is it that's keeping you? Is it a story? Is it a conditioning? Is it trauma? Is it your own blocks? And you basically you have to go into that. Like you have to go in and name it and feel any fear or rage or sadness that comes up from the distance between where you are and where you think you should be.
Right.
Right. And then what I have people do is that I move it through music, through dance, through shaking. And it's almost like a blend of psychosomatic dance and internal family systems. So internal family systems, you get to like find the parts of you that don't have the microphone. And you get to give the part the microphone, but through music, through dance. So you don't actually have to say it out loud. And also gets it out of your head and into your body. And then it's very fast.
So what do? You like dance?
Yeah, well, it depends on the modality. Sometimes I'll do alchemical questions, but oftentimes it's dance. So it's just have people like punch the air or punch a pillow and put on like the ragiest song they can, or put on a sorrow song and like just cry it out. And then is like moving those feelings alchemizes them, and it makes space for more bliss. It makes space for more joy. It makes space for more creation. And then from there we magnetize, right? So then you start to use the bliss, you use the joy, and actually, this is an important piece. What you find is the pleasure in the expression of the feeling. Like if you actually just rage, there's like a piece of you, there's a kernel of like, oh, I like this.
Right.
When you actually just let the tears flow,
Right.
there's like a 1% that actually finds pleasure or joy or release in that. And then we fan that flame of the pleasure of the expression of the emotions, and that becomes the alchemical force. And then with the magnetize, I just help people to find their own turn on, to find their own pleasure and to amplify it so that they can use that pleasure to pray, use that pleasure to dedicate to the original visualize, to the original vision.
So like when you're going from visualize to magnetize to alchemize, is there like an unlock? Is there like the how does the unlock happen?
Well, interestingly, I think a lot of people aren't even visualizing. I think a lot of people are not asking themselves the questions, what would I love?
So walk me through that process. So like, okay, so someone's going through something similar to what you went through in this chapter, into this new, and you're just like, things are great. You turned a corner quick.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you can visualize, magnetize, alchemize pretty quickly if you're in this process. So when someone's going through a despairing experience,
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's basically like you're in an upset, you're in a trigger, you're in a depression, you're in a move, you're in grief. I think the question is like, how would I love to feel? Like, what would I
Right.
love? Would I love to feel this grief all the way? Would I love to be in possibility? Would I love to feel this pain? Like, what would I love?
Right.
And just that question, because so many of us are training, well, what should I do? What's the smartest? What's the safest? What's going to make me the most money? What's going to make my parents proud? What do I need to do for my kids? We're in these martyr questions
Right.
versus like, what
Right.
would I love?
Yeah.
And that puts you into possibility, that puts you into spirit. And so just that can be an unlock. And then once you know what you want, then it's like, okay, well, why hasn't it not already shown up? I believe that our desires are divinely inspired.
Right.
I believe that our desires are divinely inspired. And that's very different than most monastic styles of meditation, which are teaching you, well, if you could just transcend the desire, then you'll transcend suffering. But that is a monastic philosophy. And for the rest of us that are not monks, if we try to subscribe to that, we will always judge our desires as bad.
Right.
And
Versus,
so actually we're using the desire as like, oh, this is how nature wants to use me to deliver my fulfillment to the world. And if there's something blocking this desire from coming to fruition, that is where my healing can happen. That is where my spiritual syllabus comes from. And so then we go into the alchemize of really finding out, well, what is it? Well, I believe I'm not worthy of it, or I believe that I'm not enough, or I believe that, you know, my dad told me I was too tall or too black or too white or too gay or too straight or too whatever. And then we just actually feel those feelings.
Right.
And that in and of itself is like its own ayahuasca trip. Like just feeling your effing feelings can be one of the most healing alchemical things you can do. And then from that spaciousness, nature does not like a vacuum. So then you have this empty vessel and then you fill it with joy, you fill it with bliss, you fill it with pleasure. And when you do that, you increase the size of your electromagnetic field. So the electromagnetic field of your heart is 5,000 times more powerful than that of your head. 5,000.
Wow.
And then imagine getting your head clear on the vision, your heart activated, and your hoo-ha, which is the generator and the magnet of your body. If all three of those things are pointed towards your dream, it starts to manifest like magic. It's not actually magic. It's a formula, but it feels like magic. And so for me in that process, it was one, giving myself permission to just feel it all the way, to just be in the grief, to be in the fear, to ask for help, to share with my friends, like, I'm not okay. And like, that's hard for me. You know, I want everyone to think I'm perfect. I want everyone to think that I'm fine. I want to like, the part of my identity gets off on being put together.
Yeah.
And part of feeling it all the way is like letting that dissolve and asking for help.
And that is an interesting curiosity. Like when you say letting that dissolve, like that is such a hard thing for people because they put on a brave face, put on a facade, put on the thing. They're like, you know, like bravely smiling through gritted teeth.
Yeah.
What is it going to shift where someone's like, how are you? And then you're like, I'm going, like, this is what's happening. Like, I'm just going to wholeheartedly, truthfully tell you what's happening. Like, what do you think is the piece there that allows for that to happen?
Well, I think that first we have to learn how to hold space for ourselves. And if we learn how to feel our own feelings and hold space for ourselves, then we're going to have a greater capacity to do that for someone else.
Yeah.
But I think that if someone asks me how I am and I know that they don't have the time, space, interest, or tools to hold the depth of whatever it is I'm going through, I'm not going to tell them. And like our mutual friend, Layla Martin, like she has really modeled this and taught me this, but her capacity to hold space for herself, her capacity to hold her own pain has given her such superpowers to hold space for our 100%. Pain. And so like, she's one of the few people that I will really let myself like fall apart in front of or just go all the way because I know she can hold me.
Same.
And I think that's been such a gift that she's given us as her friend, but also installing that transmission inside of me has really lit a fire under my ass to give that transmission to the Ziva community and to whoever is interested. Because I think that so much of the suffering on planet Earth comes from the loneliness that comes from us not feeling our own feelings, feeling lonely inside of ourselves because we don't have intimacy with ourselves, because we're lying to ourselves. And then from that place, we don't know how to hold other people's pain or each other's.
Yeah. So what are some other things people could do so that feel your feelings, kind of write them down, talk to friends, connect, like be vocal and open about it. Even, you know, like I'm such a sharer. Like I love sharing like what's going on because getting other people's perspective is so important. And a lot of people don't because they're kind of embarrassed or ashamed or feel weird or if it doesn't feel right but to be able to be like, but what do you think about that? And then what do you think about that? And they're like, well, from my, you know, and then you realize like, oh, wow, like everyone just has their own perspective. There's no right or wrong here.
No right or wrong.
It's just perspective. So I wonder, like, what are some other tools that you feel like to go from like really a challenging moment to be like, to really alchemize it into some positive manifestation?
Well, I mean, obviously every hammer finds a nail, but I think before you even get into the tragedy, before you even get into the upset, it's like, what healthy habits can you install right now, today,
Right.
so that you can up level your baseline so that you're riding at a 9. And then if a tragedy happens, sure, you might dip down into like a 2 or even a 1,
Right.
but you're not into negative 20. Right. And so that the best tool I know for that is meditation, because then it's this daily habit that bit by bit, day by day, you're increasing your bliss chemistry. You're increasing your capacity for consciousness. You're increasing your baseline of joy. You're actually becoming, quote unquote, addicted to dopamine and serotonin. So that you're just like, you're addicted to cocaine and your body needs more cocaine to feel the high. The same thing happens, but it's not an addiction, because meditation is inherently healing and constructive. But you do actually need more and more dopamine and serotonin to feel the same bliss. So your brain starts producing more and more of it. That's why the benefits of meditation are cumulative. And so the longer you do it, the more benefit you get out of it. And so I think that, like, don't wait for the crisis to start meditating.
Right.
Like, implement it now, increase the baseline now.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that happens with meditation is that because it's creating a sense of safety in your body, when those intense times happen, you actually feel like, oh, I can go into it. I can surrender into this intensity because I'm not like at a 10 out of 10 max stress.
100%.
You're not in survival mode anymore.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I can't wait to like regularly practice it even when I'm on the go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna practice this even this week when I'm in upstate New York for Thanksgiving. I'm just going to do it.
I'm going to be there too. I'm coming. Oh, we can meditate together.
Oh my God. God, I love us so much. Thank God.
This is
And
really
Renee's going too with the kids. Like, I mean,
great.
it's just, we're so lucky.
We're so lucky. Yeah. And I would say also, I mean, to that point of like community, like our community is so strong.
Yeah.
And so
we're so there for each other.
So there for each other.
It makes such a difference. Like going through the hardest, darkest time of my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gotten through that without the community, without friends coming over almost on a daily basis and just showing up with food and flowers and cheer and music and fun.
And then also I think the size that I'm willing to allow myself to dream, like honestly, like I know I haven't fully tapped you up yet, but like I have big dreams, like doing giant activations at the sacred sites on the planet. And it's like, I know that I have you in my corner, and I'm going to know like when it's time to like bring your passion in. And so it like allows me to dream bigger because I know we have this community of like world changers.
It's the wind beneath our wings. It's the people we love. So those who are going through some like real heartbreak, you know, like you've been through a divorce, you had this 99.9% love that was so potent. I mean, I've seen you two together. It's been so beautiful and also so magical to see your power saying like, hey, like there's still a piece that's missing, and I want to, you know, like I want to be true to what's true for me and still love you, but like love you in a different way. What can people do who are going through heartbreak or who've been through a kind of surprising heartbreak or have just dealt with love issues and they're like, can't trust again, or there's this and that? What are some actual things people could do to start the process? Obviously, feel your feelings. Super critical. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming up and looping. So that's huge. What are other things that people can do?
Yeah, I think specifically, if you're talking about romantic relationships, I think you always want to look at your lineage. I think you really need to take a like sober, intentional look at your parents.
Yeah.
And if it mom and dad or single mom or two moms or like whatever your family constellation is, like really look at those patterns.
Yeah.
Like what did my father represent to me? What did my mother represent to me? What did their marriage represent to me? And then how have the attributes of their relationship, have the attributes of them as individuals shown up in me, light and dark? And how has the attributes of their relationship shown up in my relationships, light and dark? And really thinking of it as light and shadow, not good and bad.
Right.
Right? It's like when we can see, to me, Tantra is finding God where we thought it was not. Finding God where you thought it was not. So in the thing of like, okay, my father was an alcoholic. Okay, well, where's the God in that?
Right.
Like, where's the God in that? It's like, well, actually, he was looking he was looking to stop the pain.
Right.
He was in pain and he was looking for a way out. And like, what did that give me? right? It gave me superpowers. Like I can read a room like
tune.
nobody's business. I can tune into someone else's emotional experience and give them what they need before they even know what they need. So like there are superpowers that have come from growing up in something that didn't feel safe. So there's God in all of it. So rather than judging it as good or bad, right or wrong, it's like just taking it as information and then saying, okay, well, where have these attributes helped me in my romantic relationships and where are they hurting me?
Yeah.
Based on the matrix of what kind of relationship would I love? Not what is good or bad, not what is right or wrong, but this is the type of relationship that I want.
So what is the type of relationship that you want?
I want full fuck yes. Like every cell in my body, full fuck yes. I want to feel fully met and matched, 5D and 3D. I want to feel held. I want to feel so deeply held. I want to soften and surrender in their presence. I want to have, I want to make magic together in the world. I want it to be fun and playful and outrageously hot.
I mean, her mouth to God's ears. This is Emily Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so grateful just for your attunement to both channel to God, your attunement to others, your attunement to your friends, your community, your son, your mother. Like, you know, one of the reasons, the main reason for you moving to Katona in the first place was to be from that mother portal. And it's just been so beautiful to just see you choose that over and over again, even when it's not necessarily your primary desire, but then like to see what unfolds when you do go, because it does. It's like the universe brings you places that you need to go.
Yeah.
And for you to be next to a stream in a beautiful nature is where you belong anyways. And so there's like the thing that I've learned about just like the hardest, darkest times is that they're the medicine actually that we need in the end. And it's always hard when you're in the eye of the storm, but when you're out of it, when you're on the other side of it, it's always like the most potent, juicy transformation that happens.
It's like the pain really does carve out space for more joy. It's not just a quote, like it really, really does.
It really, really, really does. Thank you so much. I really love you. I really support you. I really champion the work you're doing in the world. I think ZIVA Magic is that next step into cultivating just the intimacy within yourself, with others in the world, and spirit. And I think doing that through releasing the trauma and trigger and stigma around sex is like, you know, and actually turning that into a healing modality and a manifestation modality is incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's like it takes creation that big to handle the destruction.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if people want to check it out, like all of this is at zivameditation.com. So that the meditation training and the magic, it's all at zivameditation.com.
Yes. So how can people find you?
Yeah. So that's our website is zivameditation.com. There's a free masterclass that is zivameditation.com/podcast. And it goes into the neuroscience of what makes ZIVA meditation different.
And she's an incredible podcast. Crushes. Yeah.
It's called Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? Miki's going to be a guest. And then I would say also on Instagram, it's at ZIVA Meditation. And ZIVA is Z-I-V-A. It's a Sanskrit word that means bliss.
Beautiful.
And the podcast is called Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? And we're on all the podcast platforms.
Amazing. Amazing. Emily Fletcher. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
I love you. I'm so happy you're starting a podcast.
I know. It's just, it's an experiment. It's an experiment.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Going great.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for watching Edge of My Seat podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by HelloTushy.com. Tushy, the modern bidet that washes your butt clean after you poop. If you loved Edge of My Seat podcast, then please go to HelloTushy.com and support. Thanks for watching. See you next time.